Hello, welcome back to another video. The aim of today's video is to teach you how to perfect your everyday makeup look, your makeup for running errands, going to work, and still looking cute. If that's something that you're interested in, please keep on watching and let's get into it. My definition of everyday makeup is something that is brown, warm, nude, and just very flawless and beautiful. My aim is to honestly give you that assurance that this will be the very last everyday makeup tutorial that you watch. I am here to break down all the basics for you and to teach you from going into basic to flawless, basically. So let's get into it. The first essential for a flawless everyday makeup look is your base. You want to make sure that your base looks like it's your skin, like it's second skin. You want it to be flawless, you want it to be smooth, you want it to look comprehensive and well blended in together. I have already done my skincare and I am just going to go in straight with foundation now. When you are going in with foundation, you want to make sure that it's your shade or at least closer to your shade. Watch out for the undertones too as well. I'm just going to see if this is my shade. Also, my mirror is over here, so if you see me looking here a lot instead of coming up close to the camera, it's because I am looking at the mirror. So like I said, the first essential is your base and making sure that you get that skin tone and that base at least close to perfect. As you can see, my foundation is looking a little bit lighter. So I mixed in two foundations, by the way, to get my shade. So I'm going to go in with the darker shade of foundation that I used. I'm going to mix it and I am going to add it onto this to get a more darker shade. I am a warm undertone. This is warm definitely, but it's a bit lighter than my skin complexion. So I'm going to mix it up and I am going to go over it. So I already started blending in the foundation. This is more my shade. I added in the darker color of foundation and now I am just blending it in. You want to make sure you have a good beauty sponge to blend in your foundation, and blending is really a patience game and a waiting game. If you want a perfect base, you have to take your time to blend. I always say it's all in the blending. One of the things that take your makeup from good to great is impeccable blending. And you do not have to be a professional to learn how to blend properly. Just keep tapping, don't drag. Some people drag it down, don't drag, just tap. You're going to get product in and it's going to blend by tapping. You don't need to drag it in and think that's the best way to blend. Just very light, rapid taps to get it all blended out. And that's honestly all you need. So I'm going to keep blending my foundation just so you can see that it really is a patience game. I am done blending now. I wanted to leave in the clip of me blending so that you can just get an idea of what I mean when I say it is a patience game. You really have to take your time. There's no such thing as blending for too long. Honestly, there is no such thing. If it takes you 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes to finish blending, keep blending. You want to make sure it looks as seamless as possible. Tap it on, get a really good beauty sponge. They are not expensive. The one I have, I think it's from GLAM Beauty, yes. So you really want to just tap, make sure it's looking flawless. Don't be afraid to, if you have a good foundation, don't be afraid to tap it on. If you have like spots or blemishes that you want to cover, don't be afraid to tap it on. Again, the game changer is in the blending. So once you pack it on, if you're able to blend it properly, then you have no issue. Next up is concealer. That is the highlighting technique. I'm going to go with my under eyes. You want to make sure you have a brighter, really bright color, maybe like 2 or 3 shades just for the inner corners, a brighter color for your under eyes, and then for the rest of your face and the outer part of under your eye, you're going to go with a shade that is lighter than your normal color but a little bit closer than the ones that you put in your inner corner. Okay, just like as I explained, you can see the inner corner is the brightest part of the concealer, or the brightest concealer closest to my shade. What am I saying? It's basically the brightest concealer compared to the rest of my face, and I hope you were able to see the placement. That is how you should do your placement. And like I have been ringing since I started this video, it's all about the blending. Take your time to blend. Don't be in a rush. What takes makeup from good to great is the blending. So you just honestly want to blend. Don't be afraid of products, honestly. I'm not saying go and put so much on your face or just go and make yourself look like a ghost. But when I first started doing makeup, I used to be so afraid of, like, you know, adding on. Don't be afraid to add on. Don't be afraid to add on. The game changer is the blending. Add on and blend. That's it. That is the secret. So keep blending. Going to continue blending, and I will come back when I am done. So I am done with blending these corners on my face. Another thing typically I see people talk about is wanting a bright under eye when they are doing their makeup, and this is one of the steps that is going to give you that. When you use a brighter foundation, much brighter foundation for the inner corners of your eye, and also the setting powder you use, you want to make sure that it's a bright setting powder as well, to make sure that you have that bright under eye look. But it's mostly in the concealer. If you use a very bright concealer in your inner eye corner and blend it all, you are more than likely going to get a bright under eye. Also, when you do your makeup, the result you're looking for is for it to look natural, effortless, but still glam. The reason for highlighting the face is because when a light hits you directly, these are the areas of your face that get bright the most. So you want to have that illusion that you just have lights hitting your face all the time. Do you get? So after this, we're going to go in with contour. So for everyday glam, when we're doing our contour, I would typically advise to go with powder contour as opposed to using concealer/cream contour, because an everyday glam is kind of more softer than a full glam. And I find that cream or liquid contour can be harsh if you really don't know how to like manage the product and blend, and it's usually like a longer process. Everyday glam is going to work, doing errands, you have to like do your makeup and be out of the house. I would advise you to use powder contour, especially for even the nose area. Like trying to blend that when it's such a tiny and delicate area can be challenging. So I am going to use powder contour here, the perimeters of my face and like my nose. So watch me while I do that. So I am done contouring now with powder contour. For contouring, you want to make sure you have a more angular brush, like a fluffy but angular brush. I want to do light upward strokes on the areas, not the areas, but on your cheekbones. You want to do light upward strokes to contour. Can you see that contour? So that's what you want to do to give that illusion of a snatched face. Next up, we are going to be going with blush. I'm going to be using powder blush up here, and then after that I'm going to put on the blush, like I said, and go over the rest of my face with powder to set it, then set it even more by spraying. Now that I have done with blush and I have gone over my face with pressed powder to set up everything, I am going to spray to lock it in even more. So now I am officially done with my base. Can you see how flawless it looks? This is the final result you would want to have, or this is what you should be aiming for when you are doing your makeup. It's a process that requires patience. If you don't get it right the first time, just keep practicing. I was once like you. I was once a beginner that was doing nonsense with my makeup, honestly. So don't beat yourself up too much. It's fine if it's not looking like this. This is your first, second, third, even your 10th try, and it's not looking like this. You will get better with time, trust me. But this is what you should be aiming for. This is what your base should look like, because your makeup is only really good as your base. By the time the whole look is complete and you step out, the compliments you would want to get is, wow, your makeup looks really good, your skin looks really good. You want your makeup to look like second skin, and if you follow the techniques that I taught, you would definitely be on your way there, or you would have already gotten there. And you do not need expensive products to achieve this. All, like 98% of the products I'm using are drugstore / Nigerian makeup brands, which are very affordable. You do not need expensive makeup, you just need a reputable brand. Yes, some brands of makeup, some cheap makeup will give you more problems than you started with, but for the most part you just need a good brand. You need reputable brands, and if you want me to recommend some, then please let me know. But for now, I'm going to go in with my baking powder to bake my under eye, my chin, my forehead, my nose, and under my contour. Yeah, that will help set the makeup even more and to ensure that it doesn't move. Done with baking powder, and now I'm going to draw my brows off camera and come back on so we can continue with our eye look and the rest of the face. But this is how you want your baking powder to look like. This is the technique I use and what I showed. You want to go under your eye and also use it at the corners of your nose to snatch your nose up even more. Forehead, under my contour, chin, and so done with my brows now, and I have set my eyelids. It's time for us to go into eyeshadow. Now, eyeshadow to me is a fundamental aspect of soft glam. When I think soft glam, I think nice warm brown tones that complement your skin color, your undertone, your shade, all of that good stuff. So we're going to go into eyeshadow now. I'm thinking of doing a brown look obviously, but then I'm going to have like darker brown at my above my crease. Yes, above my crease, darker brown. Then I'm going to go with a warmer, lighter shade of brown on my eyelid basically. So let's do that. So as you can see, I have done the darker brown above my crease, and I'm just going with a lighter brown on my eyelid proper. So you just want to go with light tapping strokes. Then you can just like lightly blend where the upper crease and your crease meet to give it a seamless transition. Forgive my English, but for the eyelid you just want to go with taps. Yeah, can you see? We're good, honey. And you can see that it's closely even similar to my normal eyelid color. Soft glam, looking as effortless as possible and as close to your natural skin as possible. That's basically it. So at this point we are done with our eyelids. It was super easy, super quick. It doesn't need to take much time. Just get a darker brown above your crease, use a lighter brown for your eyelids, blend in the areas where the upper crease and your eyelid meet to give you a seamless transition. And if you're feeling a little extra, if you want a little razzle dazzle, you want to sprinkle something, if you have brown glitter or brown shimmery eyeshadow, you can just go in here at the beginning of your eyelids to give yourself that pop, to go a little bit extra, to take that extra step. I was actually considering doing it, but then I changed my mind last minute. So this is going to be strictly a brown soft glam look. But if you want me to do a more elevated everyday makeup look, then just let me know. But this is our eyeshadow for today. It's very easy. You need to recreate this. I'm not even playing, I'm not joking. This needs to be recreated because it's so easy. People think eyeshadow is usually this complicated process, but you can be done with this in less than 5 minutes. I promise you, if you do what I said and go through, like the steps I provided. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I will provide more clarification. But for now, since we are done with our eyeshadow, I'm going to get a liner, a black liner for my other eye, and I'm going to dust off the baking powder. So at this point, you also should definitely spray again to give yourself that extra look. So remember 2 things. You can never spend so much time blending, and in my opinion, there's no such thing as too many sprays, subject to some exceptions of course, but for the most part, spraying is your best friend. Setting is your best friend. It goes hand in hand in blending. So I'm going to spray that and we'll come back and do our lips. So I'm going to line my lips now. For lining your lips, you want to have a small flat brush for precision in lining your lips. Then you want to go with a more smaller but fluffy brush for the main part of your lips. One thing, when you want to blend, tap your lips. I see a lot of people it's a lot of people rubbing their lips when they're doing their lips and doing their makeup, but I want to just lightly I've come to realize as if a lot of makeup is mostly like dabbing as opposed to rubbing and dragging, just lightly, no. So I've lined. Now let's go in with our color for the day, our nude color for the day. So I think it's our lips. You can also decide to go with lip gloss after you're done with this step. I'm really feeling the no gloss look today, so I think this is how we're going to go. This is our everyday makeup look, 98% done. Now I'm going to give you some finishing touches that you do to get your makeup to next level greatness, next level perfection. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go in with powder again all over your face. You're going to redo your nose contour because the eyeshadow and powder has kind of, the contour has gotten lost in that, the nose contour. So you're going to do powder all over again, lightly, nose contour again, and blush again. And let me tell you the difference it makes. It takes your makeup there. When you're done with your makeup, going over these steps and these processes again. We are done reapplying blush, powder, nose contour. Can you see the little but mighty difference that it makes? It cannot be overemphasized. Now the final step, or second to the last final step, I am going to go over with highlighter on my cheekbones, nose, forehead and chin, just to give it that look. You know, when light hits your face, you want it to look like I'm glowing, I'm shining. That is what highlighter does. So I'm going to do that, and I feel I'm just going to do it in real time so you see the difference it makes. After that is spraying, and we are officially done with our everyday makeup look. So I am sure you see the shine, like especially on the bridge of my nose, without me even seeing it. So if light is hitting my face, or my forehead, you can see my forehead. With my forehead, it looks like light is definitely reflecting and hitting my face in all the right areas, which is definitely what you are going for. So we've come to the end of our everyday glam makeup tutorial. I hope this was helpful, at least in some sense. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I will definitely do my best to provide you with some more clarification and information. Make sure you try this look. You should definitely try it, if not today, then tomorrow or within the week. But definitely do these tips that I have taught you, and be sure to know that your makeup game is going to elevate. So I'm going to love you and leave you here. Bye.